So this video is back to my usual rants, video game rants in some videos. And the beginning will be about the armor, and the rest will just be probably me ranting about a bunch of random stuff while I kill people. So you can pause the video when I show in a few seconds the armor. Many of you who have played the game a while already know the armor anyway. This is more for just total newbies, I guess, or people who think there's any hope of better armor in the game, which unfortunately, for locked armor that is, there really isn't. And I'm, of course, as you might have guessed if you played the game yet, talking about the, what is it even called? The UC... It's the I'll just call it the armor. It's the Terramorph armor. It's the armor you get towards the end of the main UC United Colonies faction questline, right before you go to Londinium and battle all the Terramorphs there. They give you this armor. It's optional, though. You gotta remember to pick it up, though, because it's optional in the armory. You gotta make sure you get it from the armory. But yeah, it's very good because it's not the best armor in the game by any stretch. If you're to compare RNG, for instance, like the RNG armor you can potentially roll could potentially combine, as people have gone through, the sort of combinations you might be able to unlock through RNG armor could be way better than this. It might take you forever to find it, though, especially find a matching set of armor. Good grief, that'd be even more annoying to find. And if you know me, I like looks. I don't want to wear dinky looking armor just because it's effective. It's got to look cool. That's also why this is one of the best armors in the game, because honestly, one of Starfield's weaknesses is the spacesuits. Most of them don't really look that good. They just make it look like you're a NASA dude. Which, yeah, I get it. It's kind of Explorer, really. But what's hilarious is this game's really more about... This game's more about the combat over the exploration. Which is why, as I said in my previous video in the description of that one, where I typed it instead of spoke it, this game is not as good as... I can already tell it's not as good as Skyrim or Fallout 4. It's still a great game. I'm enjoying it, honestly. I think I rated it a 7 out of 10, but I was split between that and an 8. I might give it a 7.5 out of 10. I want to say, if I could rate it that way. And then maybe when the DLCs come out, they'll flesh out the world even more, and then you can maybe give it an 8 out of 10 at that point, for how much content will be in the game overall at that point to do. Because we know there will be DLC for it, for sure. And I already bought the premium edition, so I'm just waiting to get that. Seriously, though, the combat is probably the best part of this game, which is why it's honestly one of the worst games, though, because, I mean, Outriders, you see my other game I play, Outriders is made for the gameplay, it's made for the combat, and it's better than this game. This game is more like Bethesda finally figured out how to improve on their combat mechanics, so it's not just simply boring and functional at best, which was Skyrim. Fallout 4 was a little better, but that was only because it had, well, that's not true. It had guns, but also it had, drugs that could slow down time, too, and, Jet, I remember, was really fun to use in combat in that game, and then obviously VATS. VATS also made combat fun at times. But still, this game's got it beat for sure. This is an improvement, as I said in my last video, because it's, because it kind of combines, as you can see for what I'm doing. It's like you're a Fallout 4, super soldier at high levels like now, but also you're also the Dragonborn. You're also the Starborn, sorry, as if that's not a direct ripoff from Dragonborn. Yeah, you're the Starborn, and you got star powers that are totally not ripoffs of the shouts. Even though if you go through Skyrim, I think about 80 or 70% of the powers in this game all have precedent with the dragon shout. Like, slow time, detect life. I'm using it right now, the sense star stuff. That's just detect life. Detect life shout and spell from Skyrim and Oblivion. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. I enjoyed it in those games. And I also like, you can see when I'm clearing out this place now, that I'm just able to combine at this point, because I'm maxed out now, which I love for my powers. I can like use all three of them at the same time when I want. So like I'm using personal oxygen to give me infinite stamina, and that's because I'm over encumbered. But that's fine, because at rank 10 with my powers, I can literally keep personal oxygen on me constantly. So I can just always be sprinting around with like freaking 20 times over encumbered. I don't have to really carry. I don't have to care about carry weight anymore. Outside the fact that it doesn't let you fast travel though when you're over encumbered, so you still got to get rid of it eventually. But still, it's nice to be able to just stock up on my dude as much as I feel like, pretty much. And then I can combine that with Sense Star stuff, so I can still be seeing everybody between walls. It also helps in combat, honestly, because you can see them so much easier in combat when they're like hiding under their dumb rocks and taking shelter and all that stuff. It makes it easier to target them still. And then finally, as you just saw, I can turn invisible, and I can maintain all three of these now, like indefinitely. I can be invisible with personal oxygen, with detect life, like on me constantly, which is just so OP in combat. Of course, I could just come in here and also just be in slowed down time mode the entire time if I really wanted to be ridiculous. The only reason I don't do that is because it's boring to do the same thing over and over again, and that really does make the game, which is already pretty easy, insanely easy, if you just only fight in slow down time. But I can also slow down time because of the perks, though, the jetpack. That's why I said it's kind of like Fallout combined with Skyrim magic, because you got Fallout's weaponry and FPS kind of shootout, as well as the perk system, which is the perks are in the game are also clearly similar to Fallout, like being able to use a jetpack now in combat, which you couldn't Fallout, but then also being able to slow down time with your jetpack, doing stuff like that. And I have not unlocked everything. I haven't even unlocked the fun like intimidation, and I haven't done any of the social stuff, which apparently it also can help in combat too. And then obviously combined with space magic. Anyway, finally, so my rant was in the beginning apparently. Let me finally get back to the armor, which was the title of this video. So why is the armor the best? Well, one, because it looks cool, and there's very few cool looking armors in this game. You actually look like a space marine. Of course, I feel like you need to be a fan of the United Colonies. This game's factions is just literally space marines versus space cowboys. However, I'm a fan of marines over cowboys any day. I like soldiers over cowboys, so of course. And you know what's hilarious is, out of all the faction quests in this game, the UC also has the best one. Like, everyone would agree with that. It's the most interesting one by far. Both of them are. And then the Free Star only gets one faction quest, and it's ridiculous, boring stupidity. Truly, the only good faction quests in this game are the two UC ones. The other two suck. The two UC ones, though, are actually fun. Everybody admits that. But if you look at the armor, though, so like I said, you can get better rolls through RNG, but the reason it's good is because it looks cool, and it's locked at those perks you saw. You have Sentinel, taking way less damage standing still. You got two Beast. The Beast ones aren't the best, but still, the Beast ones combined with the Sturdy one for melee, taking less melee damage too. This armor really helps you finally take a lot less damage from aliens in this game. Which honestly, the high level melee enemies you will see will it literally one-shot you on very hard difficulty. And by the way, I learned that when you get to New Game Plus 10, like I am now, it actually unlocks long-term legendary. I'm actually on legendary difficulty, because apparently new games actually do increase enemy, they cap at 10, but it increases the enemy's strength actually. So very hard at New Game Plus 10 is actually the hardest difficulty, not very hard on any of them. Anyway, Sturdy, and also one last thing, the auto med on it. The auto med is so good because the armor you can mod, unlike the Starborn armor. So this armor you can also mod, as you saw. So auto med is so good for getting you out of those insane DPS sessions, but then you can mod the armor to give you the one where it increases med pack's effectiveness. So you can increase your healing amount And then the auto med lets you get best of both worlds, basically.